Welcome. We are so glad you've joined us today on the Absolute Advantage Podcast Aftershow, where we break down some of the key insights that we learned from our guest. And on this particular episode, we had a gentleman by the name of Arthur Samuel Joseph. He is the founder and chairman of the Vocal Awareness Institute. And it was fascinating.
It was fascinating. Yeah, mind blown. You know, he's so passionate about the topic, and I mean, rightfully so, having been, kind of present in this space and mastering this area for 54 years, beginning when, he went back to when he was 4 years old and, was sitting down to play the accordion and so, it really has been his life's work. So it was super fascinating.
Yeah, and an amazing clientele that he serves. And what I thought was, what was interesting that we didn't get an opportunity to dive into, because really it was a training for me while we it's a really fascinating. I got sweaty. It was not good. No, it was really a great experience because I got to witness it in real time with him teaching some of the techniques to slow the F down.
Right.
Which for me, I'm and realizing that is not as effective. Like even now while I'm communicating, I'm trying to
be conscious
of it because I speak so fast.
Well, and then just your physiology in terms of your posture and your breathing and the way that you're positioning yourself and really kind of centering. So all of it is super fascinating. And I think that it, at the center of this in terms of, how we show up, how we lead, it's just part of it's that being intentional, and really connecting to the message, whatever that message is that you want to, impart on somebody. And in order to connect, that authenticity needs to be there. You really need to be kind of centered and grounded in your message and believe what you're sharing, and then present it in a manner that is inspiring. And so, all of that, really connected with me.
He said something, and I've heard the phrase, when you own your voice, you own your power. And I had thought of it more on a 30,000-foot view, like when you own your voice, like you're speaking your truth.
Right.
I was thinking of it more around your truth. When you speak your truth, you find your power.
Not your physical voice.
Not your physical voice. So that was what was also fascinating. And we didn't get an opportunity to really dig into that kind of thought that was going through my head when this was one of the first things he said out of the gate. When he started speaking. That was immediately where my mind triggered to, well, that's interesting, because I was thinking about voice on a different kind of level. And so that was interesting. And then the more he went through the exercises with me and with us, and you, all of the listeners, get to benefit from hearing that exercise take place, I understood it more.
Sure.
I'm like, oh. So I literally did have a light bulb moment in that discussion with him, because it pulled that together for me, and I was like, okay, I get that now. So it was really interesting.
It was interesting. I think the other key thing that connected with me was that concept of being conscious of self and not self-conscious. So I'm guilty of analyzing the words that are coming out of my mouth when I'm sharing something, and getting too deep in my own head. And so that's something that it was I need to be thinking about that more.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think for me, a lot of the time it's on the other side. I need to be conscious of self, but being, our words have power. And so instead of just bleh, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Which is I'm not really careful with what I say. So for me too, it's is this really what I want to say? And is this, we talk a lot about living into the best version of yourself. And so thinking about, okay, what's my message here? What am I trying to convey? Who do I want to be, and how do I want to show up?
Right.
And then being conscious of that. You know, so for me, it's on the other side, not so much worried about what I'm going to say, but making what I say count.
Sure.
And so that was another distinction for me where I was like, okay, I just made a connection here.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. And the other concept too was that words having power. So that was one of the other things that he dug into was like, so the difference between a presentation and the meaning of a presentation and the meaning of the word performance.
Right.
And that we get wrong a lot when we talk about a presentation. You know, what's the visualization you have in your mind with a presentation?
Sure.
I think about a PowerPoint. I think about somebody going through slides and just delivering the information.
It is. It's like a going through the motion kind of, you know, exercise versus a performance where you are really connecting with your audience and just takes things to a whole nother level.
So just that distinction of like changing the word changes the perception and then your mindset around it and frames it very differently. So that was really powerful too.
It was.
Lots of good stuff, you guys.
It was good. Yes, fascinating.
So if you are interested in catching more of our information and all of our insights and good stuff we have to share, we think it's good stuff anyway, check us out on absoluteadvantageleadership.com. You can follow us on Facebook, wherever. We're trying to be everywhere.
Yes. Yep.
And let's see here. And then, of course, the Absolute Advantage podcast, where you can catch this full episode. And we really do encourage you to please listen to it. And another reason for that, too, is there are some, if you are looking to be a leader who makes more of an impact and who influences people, this may very well be a key piece, maybe a missing puzzle for you as far as your voice and that vocal awareness. And he's offering 50% off for the listeners, which that link will be in the show notes as well of this episode, again at absoluteadvantagepodcast.com. So
that was so nice of them to do that.
Yeah.
So excellent. Thanks for joining us.